Things are just revving up here at the Alabama A&M Event Center as the ladies make history, 12 in a row now and counting as they take care of business, and the men are eyeing a top spot here as the SWAC conference play is starting to dwindle down. They take care of business as well, a clean sweep between both programs, the men and the women. You know we have to get into that and more coming up next on the Alabama A&M Basketball Review. Let's go, y'all.
Welcome to the Alabama A&M Basketball Review. Highlights, exclusive team interviews, and analysis with men's head coach, Dante Jackson, and women's head coach, Don Thornton. We're breaking down the games, reliving the big moments, and getting you geared up for the next big battle. And now, join us on our journey with our host, Chauncey Sanders.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Alabama A&M Basketball Review. I'm your host, Chauncey Sanders, and I'm sitting alongside none other than one of the hottest head coaches around the country right now, leading the hottest team in the country, and none other than Don Thornton. 12 in a row, Coach. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling awesome. I am. I really am.
Oh, of course, and it's glad to have you as always. We are so excited about where you guys are as a team, and I can't wait to get into it.
Absolutely.
So let's do so. You guys defeated UAPB 82-54 at home. A huge victory. As you said, you know this game means a lot to you all, and your team knows that as well. Just how did you feel about that game and where you guys are now?
You know, I definitely thought that going into that game that UAPB was going to come out with some fire, with some tenacity. They've been playing some really good basketball. However, I just think that we're peaking right now. Like I'm watching us make passes and get looks and getting stops back to back. I think they are understanding what we have to do and what we need to accomplish. And defensively is something that we really, really lock into. And so we just creating havoc offensively for a lot of teams.
And you are. I mean, we look right now at not the conference, but the country statistics right now. You all are sitting 29th in scoring defense.
You got the update.
Oh, I got the update. You know, I got to keep with the 411 now.
Yes,
Listen.
yes.
You all are ranked, and this is no knock to those schools, but you're ranked against some heavy hitters there. We're talking ahead of Clemson. I mean, let me just look at the stats here, make sure we got this correct. Ahead of Clemson, ahead of Ole Miss, a team you faced. You're also ahead of University of North Carolina. Just when you put that into perspective of where you all are, just how impressed are you with that stat? But also just impressed with your team right now, where they stand?
I think everybody's bought in. We understand the challenges that are in front of us. We went through some scoring droughts in the preseason and not being able to fluidly score the ball. So we really wanted to tap in a little bit more defensively. And I think when we saw a goal within reach for us to be able to move up or down defensively as far as what those national stats are concerned, we started setting goals. And one thing about this team this year, they set goals and they want to accomplish them. They're not setting them just to set them.
Very ambitious ladies, if you will. Mm-hmm. And with that ambition comes the work, and they put in some work against UAPB. 31 points off of 26 turnovers forced for the ladies. And you also have 5 players in double digits in that matchup. But what I really want to put some emphasis on is your front court. And we talked about them in previous shows as well. You can go back and watch that. But Belton as well as Davenport combined for 25 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. When your front court's working like that, just how special is it for the team?
I think it's going to be hard to beat any team in this conference that you have a front court that can give you 25, 12, and 7. Those are some great numbers. And they've done a tremendous job of being locked in and focusing in on what's important and what has to be done now at this point, as late as it is in the season.
And these two, this wasn't like commodity that they just built up over a 4 or 5 year span. These were two competitors at one point. How did you get them to grow together so fast like this?
Well, Mo is a very unselfish person, as well as Jada. And so just being able to have them play alongside, we wanted them to feel a bond in a position, not more so like somebody who's competing for my spot, it's a no drop off clause, right? So when I'm out, you're in, you're holding it down. I'm gonna hold it down for you. And then when we were able to turn the page to get them to start clicking together, well, you have 12 in a row.
That's right. You got 12 in a row. Yeah. And there's no drop off clause. I want to keep that bookmark because we flipped the page forward. And of course, you found a team in this calendar year that was able to beat you all. You guys avenged that. What you say? You got to get your lick back.
Got to get to the devil is a lie.
The devil is a lie. 95-55 victory against the Delta Devilettes, if you will, from Mississippi Valley State. A huge win. And we saw that you guys were without a good player there, one of your many great talented players, and Moses Davenport went down. But like I said, we kept that bookmark, the no fall off clause, because Anaya was special for you all. Am I right?
Absolutely. I'm so proud of AP. Even just overcoming adversity from the free throw line. I think AP was shooting maybe 40% from the free throw line last year. I know she has to be mid 60s, if not higher than that. Just really been locking into being a better ball player. And I'm so proud of her growth.
And she was huge for you all in that matchup. 13 points, 9 rebounds, picking up some of that slack. As you said, no fall off there as we lost Davenport a little bit in that second half there. And Coach, just how impressed were you with this team's ability to rally without Davenport there in the second half?
You know, we've always talked about the next man up, the next woman up, to step up to be able to fill gaps. And I think that once we kind of just calm down a bit and everybody could understand what it is that we needed to continue to do, because it was really important for us to dominate that game, you know, from all aspects, because we wanted to leave no doubt of what should have happened on that first night, on January the 2nd. I mean, it just is what it is. But I'm proud of them, and I'm glad that AP was able to step up, because I mean we were without. KG was I think KG ended up being limited as well. So we've just been trying to figure it out, and the next person to step up for sure.
And they definitely did. And one of the things that caught my eye was the 60-35 rebound advantage. Also 24 offensive rebounds of the 60. Just a full-on dominant performance there.
Yeah, we've been preaching rebounding. I don't think that we've been rebounding the ball as good as we should. I still don't believe that we are. I know what they're capable of doing, and I want to be able to see it all. They know I'm never satisfied, and I'm always hungry, and so I want them to be able to give more and to do more. So I want to see more rebounding. I don't think that we're rebounding the ball well.
I saw you make that face, and it instantly reminded me of your soundbite of that third quarter. You knew I had to get on that. You knew we had to get on that, because you can't go into the post-game conference and talk about how, you know, unsatisfied you were. And of course, you just preached it just now without talking about that third quarter. Just what did you think you guys needed to improve on? Was it just kind of we're ahead now and now we can just kind of take a step back or take a seat back, or just what was going on?
No, if I believe correctly, we gave up 25 points in the third quarter, which I was a little disappointed by. Honestly, it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with who we're playing. The goal is the goal, and the goal is to keep teams less than 12 points per quarter. So for them to get 25, going 10 from 12 from the free throw line is unacceptable. And that's just not what we, you know, had we done what we were supposed to do in the third quarter, maybe we would be 27 in the country. Maybe we would be 26 in the country. And the goal is to be the top 25 in the country in our defensive percentages. And so we just got to do a better job of making sure that we keep the main thing the main thing.
And keeping the main thing, Coach, avoiding the outside noise. Just how difficult has it been for you to try to keep this team well balanced and keeping the ship right when there's all this outside noise and commodity going on with the graphics and the posting and all the news cycle around you guys' this incredible run?
I mean, if you think about it, last year when we were getting ready, I remember I will never forget it. We were about to play Grambling, and we win the game versus Grambling, and you take care of Southern as we beat Southern the last game of the season last year. We would have won a regular season last year. So we understand that we have to take this one game, one step at a time. And the goal is to take care of unfinished business. And last year, we didn't take care of business in the regular season. So we want to be able to give ourselves a shot at a regular season championship. And to do that, I think that we need to continue to push forward. And I mean, losing that first conference game was probably the boost that we really, really needed. And so I think that that's kind of been a little bit of our motivation throughout the whole year. So we're not really worried about the outside noise.
Keeping it one game at a time. And with that, you all take on the Lady Rattlers at the Lawson Center now. It's the schedule starts to flip where you're back on the road against some familiar foes. Just what can you expect out of them now? They're playing relatively good game, but however, they're on a 2-game losing streak as they head home.
You know, it's a hostile environment at FAM too. So I expect us to take care of business defensively, to do what we're supposed to do. To try to eliminate them from getting comfortable in the floor of their offense. But I definitely expect both of those games to be very, very, very competitive. FAM has a very great team. Not sure exactly. They've had a few players that haven't been playing, so I don't know if they're experiencing an injury bug or not. But nevertheless, we're going to defend. We're going to play some
More
defense.
than anything, what's going to travel is the defense.
Absolutely. That will be packed in everybody's suitcase.
Everybody's suitcase, huh? I love it. What's typically, just now, just to kind of segue a little bit, just what can we expect out of the Divas suitcase? How many suitcases do you bring on the road?
You know, for the SWAC tournament, I'm probably going to have 5. When we played in Houston, I had 3 and a possible. So I'm probably going to have 5 when we go to Atlanta.
5. I love it. Okay. Necessities must have in the bag. Like just some travel bag.
We must have some perfume. Perfume must be in the bag. Accessories, you know, like the jewelry must be in the bag. A wig may be in the bag. A wig may be in the bag. Okay. I mean, we got to keep it. That's why everybody loves me. I just got to keep it real.
What do you? How do you fold the wig in the bag?
You put it in the box. You put it around the box, and then I know how to curl hair, so I can actually do hair and do my makeup and stuff like that. So a makeup bag will be in the box, and then an outfit for every practice, for every meeting, for every occasion, for every game. For everything.
For everything.
For everything.
Gotta have that one outfit there that's just accessible for it all. Versatile.
No, one outfit for everything.
Okay, one outfit for everything. I love it. And we're gonna see how you guys take care of business, and you gotta have everything, including that defense, when it comes to FAMU. That's a Thursday, 6:30 p.m. tip-off for the ladies. And also, they're going on the road to Daytona Beach, but they're not looking to get their feet in the sand. They're looking to keep their 10 toes dug in on defense, as you heard head coach Don Thornton say. That's also a 2 p.m. tip-off and a doubleheader for both. Very interesting, to say the least, here in SWAC play as we continue to get to the back 9 stretch. Lady Cats, 3 out of their last 4. Any expectations for that game?
You know, we played a very close game versus Bethune here at the EC. So I'm sure that they're going to come in having the same type of mindset that we have versus the Valley, to get their lick back, to show that they are capable of competing against a top contender in this conference. So we don't take them lightly. We don't take any team lightly at all. We're going to control the controllables and do the things that we love to do, and make sure that we put a great brand of basketball out on the floor.
Indeed, indeed. Once again, that's a 2 p.m. tip-off. You can find both of those games here on SWAG TV. Coming up next, we have your highlights. You know we can't go too far without those. We got a whole lot packed in for that. And also, head coach Dante Jackson joins the show to talk about his 2 huge wins here at home in the crown jewel of the Tennessee Valley. That and more here on the Alabama A&M Basketball Review. What's up, Bulldog fans? It's yours truly, Chauncey Sanders, your host for the Alabama A&M Basketball Review, and I got something special to tell you. Wednesday, February 25th, we have a special taping at Walk-Ons. That's right, Walk-Ons here at Cliff Farms in Madison, Alabama. We're going to have you hyped up. We're going to have games. We're going to have activities and also giveaways and prizes as well. So you don't want to miss out. That's February 25th. 2 to 4 p.m. We're going to have our head coaches, two of the hottest coaches in the game right now, leading their teams, looking to get a SWAC championship under their belts, and Dawn Thornton and also Dante Jackson. We're also going to have our special guests and our players join the show as well, and Kayla K-Way Walker and also Kentavious Dozier for the men. You don't want to miss out. They're all going to be here. Why aren't you? Join us once again, February 25th, 2 to 4 p.m., and that's at the Walk-Ons here in Cliff Farms.
We are Alabama A&M University, a world-class institution where future leaders prepare to make their impact on the world. Here, education isn't just about learning, it's about leading, with nationally recognized programs in STEM, agriculture, business, and the arts. We are inspired by our rich heritage and bold future, carrying the spirit of the Hill with excellence. Alabama A&M University. Start here, go anywhere.
And welcome back to the Alabama A&M Basketball Review. We're now joined alongside by none other than the 11th men's basketball head coach and Dante Jackson. Coach, It was a good one for you guys. Now moved to 15-11 on the season so far. Just how are you feeling after this past week?
I feel good. Feel real good. Feel like we're moving in the right direction. Anytime you can go 2-0 in a weekend, and against the SWAC teams, it's a good weekend. So happy about the way we performed last night. Not all right about Saturday night, but a win is a win.
A win is a win, and an ugly win beats a pretty loss
Ain't
any
that the
day of the
truth?
week.
Ain't
You
that
know
the
what I'm
truth?
saying? So let's get into it. You guys defeat Mississippi Valley State, who were desperately coming in looking for a conference win, let alone a win in this matchup, 72-65. Just what were some of your thoughts there into that game?
Man, I think Coach Ivory had those guys playing extremely well. The point guard Michael James, if I'm not mistaken, man, he played extremely well against us. We we lost him a few times. He hit some shots, and some of that was just us. We wasn't, in my opinion, taking pride in the defense like I felt like we should have. And sometimes you in games like that, those guys see a team is undefeated. I mean, winless, I should say, in conference, and you kind of don't put your best effort forward. And that's one of the things, like, you knew you had Pine Bluff coming the next day, which is the number 2 team in the league, and you can try to overlook somebody, but we ain't in a position to overlook anybody. So happy we found a way to get it done. We, glad we picked it up that second half and really had a good spark off the bench with Bilal and AG. Like, guys came in and played phenomenally well in that second half. So I was happy about that.
That's right, because you guys were trailing at the half, if I can remember correctly, 31-29 at halftime. What was the message there?
Yeah, we wasn't playing together. Like, we wasn't playing together. We wasn't executing. We had some bickering going on about shot attempts. Some things that we worried about the wrong stuff. Like, we should be worried about what's important now. That's what that acronym for win for me. What's important now? Winning. That's what's important now. So that was the main thing. We wasn't worried about the moment. We were worried about selfish agendas, and I felt like once we get past that, we'll figure it out. So had to go in halftime, shake it up a little bit. We came out and performed a little bit better.
Definitely. And one thing that caught my eyes with the acronyms is on the back of you guys' warm-up tops, there's an acronym, no lames. What does that stand for? Where did it come from?
I always talk about, one of the things I look at the guys, they always, oh, you a lame, that's lame. Well, for me, I'm like, listen, man, no lazy, arrogant, mediocre, or entitled or selfish people. Like, that's lames. Like, you're lame. Like, when you do things like that, you're lame, and you can't win being a lame. So, I try to put it back on them as far as, the stuff y'all say all the time. Okay, cool. You're lame? Well, you're being lame right now. You know what I mean? So I just always say, in order to win, you need people that want to be selfless and you want to be highly motivated intrinsically. And, you can't be a lame. You can't be lazy. You can't be arrogant. You can't be mediocre. You can't be entitled. You can't be selfish. At the end of the day, that doesn't lead to winning. So that's why I always tell them, no lames.
No lames. I love it. And we didn't see any lames in that second half there because you guys came out and it was just a turn of a switch there. And one of the people that led you was Contavious Dozier, one of your leaders. 4 points in the first half, 14 in the second half. What started to click for him there in that second half against?
Well, the thing of it is, we go as he go. That's the tough part. Sammy does a great job of setting the table, serving it up, scoring when he needs to score. Contavious, he scores, and I think he takes the edge off everybody when he scores. So when he does a great job of scoring, everybody calms down and kind of just gets into their own little groove, and he's the person that kind of takes the edge off and does once he came out that second half, I with it on his mind, because I told him, I said, this be the worst loss ever, y'all, and we ain't even had a long program history together, y'all. Like, but this will be the worst one. So let's not have it. Yeah. And they was like, oh, we're not gonna lose, coach. So they came out and figured it out.
They figured it out indeed. The lead grew to 13 in that second half at some point. Of course, they gave one last push in the Delta Devils, but you guys got it done, 72-65. All right. With that said, you move on now to Monday. And you knew who was coming in. Pine Bluff, despite the loss in Montgomery, was playing some of the best ball in the conference this far. Just what were your mindset and your message to the team prior to tip-off?
We had lost down there by 12 in the first game of the year. First game and opening up a SWAC. My message was good teams don't get swept. You want to be a good team, you don't get swept. That's the bottom line, you know. Like, somebody can have your number one night, but you got to be able to adjust the next night. And we went down there. We didn't. I felt like we played well offensively, but we didn't play well defensively. We gave up almost 80 something, 90 some points. That ain't us defensively. So our game can't be getting into a running match with people. Our game got to be making sure we execute in the half court and do a great job of defending. So that was one of the messages that we talked about, and just keeping Keon Williams, you know, out of the paint. He was been such a great performer, almost like 17 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists for them.
Playing some of his best
Playing his
ball.
best basketball.
Yeah, he's
He's
averaging like
been,
almost 25 points in the
Yeah.
last 3 games
Yep.
prior to you guys.
prior
So,
to
yeah.
us, and you know, we had to put an onus on, you know, taking him out the game.
I hear you on that. And you guys did a pretty good job of that. And as you said before, that team shot 70% from the field in the second half when you guys last saw them in January. Just what were some of your adjustments into this game? And how different of a team did you feel like you had going into that matchup today versus prior to in January?
Well, I don't want to talk about all the adjustments we made because we might see them in the
Might see
tournament.
No,
No, give away
yeah,
too
that was a
much.
good one. That was a
Yeah,
good
I
one.
don't want to
Yeah,
give away
yeah,
too
yeah,
much. But one of our main priorities was, you know, taking away the 3-point line. I mean, they're big with the three ball, and taking away Keon Williams' penetration. That was one of the things we needed to do, because when he's making everybody better and they're making threes, it's just rough. You know, Manhani, I don't say his name the right way. He kind of got hot, but he kind of got hot off the bounce, and it wasn't in their normal floor of their offense. You making some transition threes, some off the dribble threes. It's not in their normal floor of their offense. So he kind of kept them around. If he don't kind of hit 7 threes by himself, you know, it's kind of tough. The game kind of changes. But when they're making 10 plus threes, they're difficult to handle, because the three ball just really sets the game apart now.
And you guys also were able to hone in defensively in the second half there. And we saw that you held them to just, if I'm looking at this correctly, at some point you held them to sub 40% from the 3-point line. So that was a huge adjustment there. You held them to sub 50% from the field in that matchup. So that was another huge adjustment. But one thing that caught my eyes was the amount of energy that came from your bench. Can you just elaborate to how they've been able to come in over the last 2 games and give you guys some much needed energy there?
We're trying to get a lot of guys in the game earlier, to try to help with our late game stuff. You know, I say our late game stamina, because sometimes, you know, we didn't play guys 35, 36, 37 minutes. Now you get to the second half, we start to make mistakes, and the guys on the bench ain't been in the game. They don't feel comfortable. So it's just been one of them things where we're trying to get more guys in earlier, so then guys have a longer rest early so they can kind of have a stronger finish later. So the energy from our bench was incredible, man. Just like Bilal has been incredible this year, man. He really buying into being a pest on the defensive end, really getting after people, coming in, finding the spots to score, but more importantly, being able to run the team and facilitate and get guys in the right spots. He's been incredible. AG comes in with high-level energy, really just mixing it up, you know, doing a great job of offensive rebounding, talking on defense, getting people in the right spots. Then you still have Sam Onu, man. He did a phenomenal job against Jaquan Scott. Jaquan Scott's their best interior post player at Pine Bluff, and probably one of the best interior post players in the league. And Sam came in and gave us a great spark, because that gives PJ Easton a chance to, you know, kind of have his moment of taking a break and getting a good breather, and then Sam going out there and contributing. So definitely, you know, was excited about those guys coming off and competing at a high level. And then, like, our super 6-man, Lou Hutchison, comes in, makes plays, you know, whether it's hitting threes, whether it's attacking the basket, rebounding. You know, he just comes in and just does all the things, you know, that a good team, you know, needs for him to do. And he just, whatever it is, he just picks his spot.
Finds his spots. I hear you. And you called him your super 6-man there. He just does it all for you. Huh?
Does it all. You know, he's one of those guys, plays multiple positions, understands exactly what the coaching staff needs, wants, and does, how can I say, you know, he does more with little. You know, because sometimes he may be in a situation where Karan Davis is playing really well, so his minutes ain't always where it need to be, or whatever the case may be. Now, he still comes in and affects the game in a positive manner, even though he may not be getting the 20 minutes that day, even though he ain't getting 18, 16 minutes that day. He may get 11 or 12 minutes, but in his 11 or 12 minutes, they're impactful.
Definitely. And when you said that, we're going to be looking forward to these impactful minutes coming forward as we flip the page for Thursday. You guys have a quick turnaround. I mean, really quick. You guys are flying out this afternoon, actually, and you're going to be heading over to FAMU. Just what's your mindset there, seeing them for a second time, and then what can we expect from that group?
Well, listen, FAMU's tough. Coach Ward does a phenomenal job with his group. You know, I got to watch a little bit more film. The big fella hasn't been playing. Big 34 hasn't been playing. He didn't play last night, so I need to kind of see what's going on. Maybe he hurt or whatever. But the thing about FAMU, man, they can pose threats because they can put multiple 6'5" guys on the court. They can play positionless basketball. We got to do a good job of defending and talking and communicating on defense. Like, that has to be what we do. Like, we got to take our defense on the road, and they got to travel for us in order for us to be great this week.
Definitely. And you also got to have another look back on your schedule now with Bethune-Cookman going on the road, a much more tighter environment, if you will, in their facility, in their arena. Just what can you expect out of seeing them? And also, they recently lost as well. So we also know how they're feeling coming into this ball game.
Yeah, so I think they've lost the last two this past weekend. Lost the last two. Coach Theus has done a phenomenal job with his group, man. Very talented group. Love to play in transition. Incredible transition team. Probably the best transition team we played all year. And that was one of the things that we had to do a better job of is locking in on our transition defense. And we kind of played that game against Bethune, wasn't great. Then we turned around and kind of hangover against Southern. Then we had to sit down and really concentrate on the little things. And, you know, if you don't get back in defense and you're giving up layups, you can't even play defense. So you have to do the first thing is first. That's stop the ball, get back, find your man, guard your yard, and contest at a high level. You know, the last thing we need to clean up is these offensive rebounds. But like I tell people, like, we're running to the rim instead of just boxing our man out. It's a long shot, long rebound. So we have to do a better job with that. But, you know, I think going into Bethune, you know, our guys, you know, they have to just come with it on their mind. They got to come ready to compete because it's going to be a tough environment, tough place to play. They've had an incredible atmosphere down there, and I'm sure they'll be ready for us when we walk in that gym the same way we got to be ready for them.
Oh, yeah. Only the strong survives down there.
Only the strong survive in the SWAC.
That's right. Because right now, I mean, it's just a mix-up. You know, we've seen teams that you've defeated now, UAPB, who was at second. Now suddenly we're eyeing the second spot, if not the top seed, if all things work out as we expect them to, leaving Florida. There's an opportunity here where things are going to shift very quickly in the conference. Just how confident do you guys feel going into the bottom half of this conference play?
Listen, we got the last 5 right now. You know, the beautiful thing is that these 2 is on the road, the last 3 is at home. So, like, right now it's time. You know, every game is important because it's getting to March, and you're trying to play your best basketball going into March. So now that March is around here, we're trying to find ways of honing in of what we do well and how we do it well every day. And I think that, and I'm sure every team is trying to do that, you know, and then right now it's a cluster of between 6 losses, 5 losses, 3 losses. Like, it's all right there, 7 losses. Everybody's right in there. So, you know, you have 1 loss, you go from being second to being 5th. You go from being second to being 8th. Like, you just never know because it's been such a tight league this year.
Definitely been a tight league, and as we said, only the strongest survives in the SWAC. So we look forward to seeing you guys. Of course, we want to get you out here on the road, and of course, your last thoughts against FAMU and then also Bethune-Cookman. Tip-off is set for 7:30 p.m. against FAMU. That's going to be on SWAC TV. Also, 4:30 p.m. tip-off in Bethune-Cookman, Daytona, against the Wildcats. For more information, you can check that online. Once again, Coach, we'd like to thank you for joining us on the show as always. We're looking forward to seeing how you guys compete at a high level. Hopefully no lames involved in Florida. If not, you would just see them right back here in Huntsville if need be. But for now, we'd like to say thank you all for watching the Alabama A&M Basketball Review. For Coach Dante Jackson, I'm Chauncey Sanders. And as always, Coach,
Go Bulldogs.
Thank you for watching the Alabama A&M Basketball Review with head coaches Dante Jackson and Don Thornton. Your support is important to us and the outstanding students here on the Hill. We encourage you to support the entire athletic program and become a season ticket holder, or be a part of something much bigger and become a torchbearer. Visit AAMU.edu for more information. And until next time, go Bulldogs!